Buenos dias from Rainbow Mountain, Peru. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Nate.
And we're the passport couple. We've been traveling for the last year and a half and have been through some crazy times with the pandemic and trying to figure out how to continue traveling internationally. We've been in Peru for a couple of weeks now and already visited the wonderful Machu Picchu, but now we are at the highest point we've ever been at 5,000 meters to see the beautiful Rainbow Mountains.
It is 3:45 in the morning, and there are only a handful of things in life worth getting up for at this hour, and today is one of those things.
We booked ahead with a tour group, and they said they were going to pick us up anywhere from 3:45 to 4:15. They also said they were going to message us yesterday to let us know an exact time, but we didn't receive a message. And it's currently 4:05, and they're not here yet. But I think we have a phone number to call if they don't come quickly. So fingers crossed, and our bed and breakfast host is waiting with us, and they made us breakfast. Wasn't them. No.
No. No. No. Yes.
Okay, buenos dias, good morning.
Buenos dias.
Yeah. I will call the car, we'll come here, yeah?
Okay.
Great, thank you.
No, it's because other passengers don't wake up. I'm waiting for them from 4, but they don't wake up, you know?
They came, and it's only like 15 minutes late. Adios.
Gracias.
Gracias. It's so cold. First stop is breakfast. I'm freezing. I don't know how I'm gonna make it today.
I don't either. And I have more layers than you. So they said we should have a light breakfast because as we go higher in elevation, the digestion slows down. But every breakfast we've had here is huge in comparison to our expectations, so.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. The only thing that our tour didn't include was the actual entrance fee to the mountain, which I read was $30 per person, but it turns out it's only 25. We made it! So it's cold up here because we're really, really high up. Rainbow Mountain is a 2 to 3 hour drive from Cusco, perfect for a day trip. We have about an hour and a half hike up, I think about an hour down. But you can take a horse, which is like 90 soles per person for a round trip horse ride, but we're gonna walk it.
On the way up the mountain, I kept looking off the side of the road to see if any of the river water was frozen, just to get an indication of how cold it would be up here. And none of it was frozen, so I was encouraged until we got up here and I saw these mountains, which are completely snow covered. I think it's going to be a very, very chilly hike. Ugh.
Okay, señores, bienvenidos a la montaña de colores. Some of the people walk fast, some of the people walk slow. That's why, my friend, for recognize each other, because there is a lot of people going, you know, Hakuna Matata, and you know that is the group, okay?
Just getting started on the hike. We got our walking sticks, which we have a little experience with. Gave us tons of warnings about the altitude and breathing in the cold air once we get to the top. Actually recommended that we keep our masks on at the top so that we're breathing warm air.
Seems that most people in our group actually got horses. I think there's only like 4 of us walking. I am so out of breath. We're currently at 4,000 meters, and we're going to be going up to above 5,000 meters, which is actually half of Mount Everest.
I can't believe how many horses there are.
You can smell them.
That's very true.
That always love getting out of the city in South America. The landscapes are just so beautiful. Seems that they have a people trail and a horse trail the whole time, so we don't have to look out for any landmines at least.
Amazingly, along the route, there's still vendors. And they definitely know what we're looking for because they offered us Snickers, Kit Kats, and then even orange juice, which smells amazing.
Guide was telling us that this mountain range area is filled with all sorts of animals, from pumas to chinchillas to condors. Now that the tourists have started to come in droves, they've kind of moved away. Just from the tourist areas, they still live here. But there's tons of domesticated animals still around the tourist zones, including sheep, horses, alpacas, dogs, even llamas. We get our first sight of the different colors up on the very top up there. It's just the different minerals coming through. You can start to see the burgundy, turquoise, and gold, which are the main three colors. Oh, we've come a long way so far.
Yeah.
We decided to book a guided group tour to hike up to Rainbow Mountain for a couple of reasons. First, it was pretty inexpensive. We only paid $57 US for the two of us for a 12-hour day, including breakfast, lunch, guide, walking stick. Second, our guide is trained in first aid and altitude preparedness. He has oxygen with him, so if for any reason anything goes wrong up at the top, we're able to get the help that we need, which you just never know. 5,000 meters high is really high.
From a distance, you can see quite a few snow-capped mountains, but what shocked me is this entire area used to be snow-covered. In fact, Rainbow Mountain wasn't rediscovered until recently in 2017. Like, that blew my mind that this has not been a huge tourist attraction for a long time. But because of platforms like Instagram, shocker, this has become a major attraction here in Cusco, and tons of people are visiting every single day. And that says a lot when people are willing to get up at 3:30 in the morning to see somewhere.
Oh, it's so hard.
Look at those colors.
That's very nice.
So pretty. We have not gone far, but it is extremely steep. And we're already out of breath. And we only have to go this much farther. All the way up there.
We are about halfway up the super steep part, and it's already starting to get pretty chilly. It was just really hot from the movement, but then the temperature is dropping quickly as we start to get higher and higher.
Okay, so the horses don't actually go all the way up. They kind of stop at the worst part. But at least you have all your energy stores once you get to the worst part.
That's it.
Our guide is actually administering one of the first methods for altitude sickness. I don't know exactly what it is, but you rub it in your hands, you like put it very close to your nose and inhale. It's almost like smelling salt, where I think it just like jolts everything alive and like opens your airwaves much more so that you can breathe more easily in this high altitude.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, we made it! These are the expectations, and this is the reality. There's a lot of people up here, but it took us 2 hours to climb up, so we only have about 20 minutes to get all of our photos that we want to get before we have to head back down. So let's go.
Ugh.
It is so cold up here. My fingers are totally numb.
Not feeling too much right now, but it's not as bad as I thought. When he said it was going to be really, really windy,
Yeah.
I was imagining much worse, but I bet if we went higher, which you can, but it's not necessary, it probably would be worse.
Yeah. It's so beautiful up here, and when the sun shines on the mountain, you really get the full colors. It's all from the mineral deposits in the mountains. This glacier that you can see from the top of Rainbow Mountain is called Ausangate, and it's at 6,500 meters. That's even higher than we are now, and that is just crazy. We brought a Snickers because we knew it was going to be really cold, and an ice cold Snickers is delicious anytime, especially after a really long hike. Plus our guide said it helps with glucose and helps you to not faint, so he recommended it.
Come on, give me that. Give me that. You have gloves on, you can't do it.
I'm sorry.
It's actually frozen. I didn't think it would be.
Okay, we really have to go now. I want to stay longer, but
I think we pushed it as long as we could.
yeah, we're past our time.
Okay.
We have 58 minutes to get to the bottom. Let's go.
You guys heading back for the day? What tour did you take? Huh? Okay. If you're not totally convinced yet how popular Rainbow Mountain is, just take one look at the parking lot here. It is loaded with shuttles.
We made it back down, and for whatever reason, it felt so much longer coming back down. But now it's time for an hour drive to lunch.
All right, we made it to the same restaurant as we had breakfast. This time it's a buffet, much more food now that we don't have to hike in high altitudes. But we're waiting our turn because there's another table going right now. So we hope you enjoyed hanging out at Rainbow Mountain with us today. It was amazing, very much worth the drive, the hike, the altitude. Hit the like button below if you did, and if you want to stamp your passport with us again.
Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. We have another fun day planned.
It was that kind of day.
I need to get the blood pumping.
Let's say, do you have a Bud Light this morning?
Bud Light?
Hey, you said we need to get the blood flowing.
I need to get the blood flowing.
The digestion. Wow. The caballos are getting their drink on.